L-A-D-E-S-A-N-G-N-T-L-M-E-M, every morning, before the world reaches out to you, before the noise of notifications and demands, you are offered a choice, a sacred moment to speak to yourself, to command your thoughts, to direct your inner world. And in those few minutes, the words you choose become the foundation of your day and ultimately your life. Tell yourself these three powerful things, not once, not occasionally, but every morning, like a ritual, like a sacred vow. Every morning offers a new beginning, a silent promise that yesterday is over and today is yours to shape. The moment you open your eyes, your mind is already at work creating thoughts, beliefs, and expectations that will direct how you feel and how you act throughout the day. That is why the first thing you tell yourself when you wake up is not just a thought, it is a command. When you begin your day by telling yourself, I am responsible for my life, you're not making a casual statement. You are making a declaration of power, ownership, and self-mastery. Taking responsibility is the first step to true personal transformation. It's the act of stepping out of the victim mindset and into the role of the creator. It doesn't mean that everything that happens is your fault. It means that how you choose to respond is fully within your control. When you take responsibility, you stop waiting for someone to come save you. You stop blaming your past, your environment, or your circumstances running through the park. You begin to understand that no one else is going to do it for you. And that's not something to be afraid of. It's something to celebrate. Because if it's your responsibility, then it's also your power. That thought alone can completely shift your day. Running through the park. Most people don't realize how often they give their power away. They complain about things they could change. They wait for permission to grow. They delay action because of fear. But the one who starts their day by affirming responsibility no longer waits. They act. They decide. They move forward regardless of the noise around them. This mindset creates clarity because it separates what you can't control from what you can. And what you can control, your attitude, your actions, your thoughts, is more than enough to move mountains. Telling yourself that you are responsible also builds inner trust. You begin to see that you are the one who shows up for yourself every day. You are the one who keeps your promises, who faces the hard things, who keeps going even when it's uncomfortable. That kind of self-trust is rare and powerful. It's what allows you to pursue goals that scare you, to walk into challenges without being crushed by fear. Build a life that reflects your highest values, not your lowest habits. And here's the truth, life will always throw challenges at you. You'll never have a day that is completely free of obstacles. But when you take responsibility, you take the driver's seat. You're not waiting to feel better. You're deciding to do better. This small shift in the morning becomes a big shift in your life. Running through the park, you realize that while you can't always choose what happens, you can always choose how you show up. In that space between reaction and action, greatness is born. So start your day not with blame, not with doubt, but with responsibility. It's the beginning of your strength. In the quiet of the early morning, before the world begins its rush and before distractions flood your attention, you are given a rare moment, an opening to connect with your inner self. It is in this moment that one powerful truth must rise within you. Everything I need is already within me. This single statement, repeated with honesty and belief, has the potential to eliminate years of doubt, fear, and dependency on the external world. It is not just a phrase, it is a mirror reflecting the truth of who you are. You were not born lacking. You were born complete, equipped, running through the park, and capable of building the life you envision. Many people spend their lives searching for something they believe they are missing. They chase validation from others, collect achievements like trophies, or wait for perfect timing before taking action. The more they search outside of themselves, the more lost they feel within. Why? Because the power was never outside. The courage you seek, peace you long for, the clarity you pray for, they are all within you, buried beneath layers of noise and forgotten through years of doubt. Every morning gives you the opportunity to remember, to reconnect with the unshakable foundation that lives inside your spirit. When you begin your day with the affirmation that you already possess what you need, you stop comparing yourself to others. You no longer look at their timelines, their success, or their progress as a measure of your own. Instead, you turn inward. You become grounded, confident, clear. You understand that your journey is unique and that your timing is sacred. Truth removes pressure and invites presence, the ability to be fully here, fully now, fully ready. This mindset empowers action. You're no longer paralyzed by the idea of not having enough knowledge, support, or readiness. You move forward with what you have, knowing that you can figure it out along the way. This belief builds self-reliance. It creates mental strength, shifts your identity from someone who waits to someone who creates. And day by day, you start to feel a deep change. You begin to act in alignment with your higher self. You stop waiting for permission and you give yourself the green light. More importantly, this morning truth builds inner peace. Because when you accept that everything you need is already within you, you stop fighting with yourself. You stop trying to become something you're not. You realize that the real work is not about becoming someone else. It's about uncovering who you've always been, removing the doubt, silencing the noise, honoring the strength, wisdom, and love that already exists within you. So every morning, look at yourself and speak these words. Everything I need is already within me. Feel the weight lift off your shoulders, the quiet strength rise from within. Trust it, walk with it, and carry it into every challenge, every goal, and every conversation. Because that truth is not just a reminder, it is the foundation of your power. When the alarm sounds and your body resists getting out of bed, when your mind tries to convince you to delay, postpone, or take it easy, that's the moment you must remember a powerful truth. Today, I rise above my excuses. Excuses are always waiting for you, crafted by your mind to protect you from discomfort. They sound reasonable. They feel safe. But deep down, you know they are the very chains that keep you small. Every morning, before anything else, you must break those chains with awareness, discipline, and intention. Because if you don't rise above your excuses, you will live beneath your potential. Excuses are familiar. Come dressed as fatigue, fear, or logic. They whisper, you can do it later. Or, it's not the right time. They point to your past failures and try to predict future disappointment. These voices are not facts, they are habits. Habits that were formed when you allowed temporary emotions to control permanent decisions. And every time you believed those excuses, you taught yourself that comfort was more important than growth. But something powerful happens when you challenge that belief. When you rise, especially when it's hard, you start to create a new patterns. One built on strength, not surrender. Rising above excuses doesn't mean ignoring your pain, your emotions, or your fatigue. It means choosing to act in spite of them. It's the decision to honor your commitments more than your feelings. Because feelings change, but commitments build character. When you decide to push through resistance, you begin to build a reputation with yourself. You become someone you can count on. That self-trust is the root of self-respect. And nothing in this world is more powerful than a person who respects themselves enough to do the hard things. Every morning is a test. Will you let your excuses win or will you rise? The most successful people are not those who feel motivated every day. They are the ones who act regardless of how they feel. They have simply made it a habit to rise. And every time they do, running through the park, the voice of doubt becomes quieter and the voice of discipline becomes stronger. You do not need to feel like doing something to do it. You just need to decide that your vision matters more than your mood. So when the struggle shows up in the morning, and it will speak this truth aloud, today I rise above my excuses. Say it until it becomes your reality, until your excuses feel weak and your will feels unshakable, until you no longer believe the story that tells you to wait. You are not here to survive the day. You are here to shape it, lead it, and grow through it. Let that be your fuel. Let that truth be the force that gets you out of bed, moves your feet forward, and carries you through the discomfort. Because that is where strength is built. That is where excellence begins. And it all starts with rising. Every morning is a silent opportunity, a blank canvas awaiting your decision, your direction, and your energy. Before the noise of the day begins, before responsibilities pull at your attention, there is a sacred window where your thoughts are at their most powerful. In that moment, what you tell yourself becomes a compass. It sets the tone, the mood, and the mindset for everything that follows. Running through the park. That is why it's not enough to simply wake up. You must wake up with intention. You must become the architect of your own attitude. This means choosing the direction of your day instead of letting it be shaped by randomness or reaction. The world is full of distractions, challenges, and people who will try to impose their urgency on you. But if you begin your day centered, grounded in purpose, and aligned with a few simple but powerful affirmations, you will carry strength that cannot be shaken. One of the most important things to remind yourself every morning is that the quality of your day is not defined by the world around you, by the world within you. You do not need the sun to shine to feel joy. You do not need everyone's approval to feel worthy. Running through the park. You do not need comfort to stay committed. When your inner world is strong, nothing on the outside can shake you. This is why the early morning matters so much. It's your chance to align yourself with clarity before confusion enters. It's your chance to lead yourself before others try to. And the best way to lead yourself is with words that ignite purpose. Not passive, soft, surface level words, but deep, commanding truths that hold your identity in place. You're not simply telling yourself nice things. You are programming your mind. You are conditioning your emotions. You are preparing your spirit for the battles of the day. So when you look in the mirror each morning, don't just see tired eyes or yesterday's weight. See the person who gets to decide, the one who can shape thoughts, emotions, actions. Speak deliberately. Declare your direction. Say what needs to be said. I am responsible for my energy. I carry everything I need. I rise no matter what. These are not slogans. They are truths you must choose to live. Because the morning is where momentum is built, and momentum creates miracles. It is not magic. It is discipline. It is conscious living. And it begins not with doing, but with saying. With planting seeds in your mind that will grow strength, clarity, and action throughout the day. You don't rise to your goals, you fall to your habits. One of the most transformative habits is deciding what to say to yourself before the world says anything else. Begin each day with awareness. Speak your truth. Choose your focus and watch how the world begins to move in the direction of your energy. Every great life is built one day at a time, and every great day begins with a decision. A decision about how you will think, feel, and act regardless of what comes your way. That decision is most powerful when it's made in the morning, before the world distracts you and before your emotions are pulled in every direction. One of the most important realizations you can have is that your mindset is not fixed, it's trained. And the best time to train it is in those first few moments of the day. What you tell yourself every morning is like programming the operating system of your mind. Feed it with strength and you'll act with strength. Feed it with fear and fear will shape your actions. Most people underestimate how much influence their own voice has. They listen to the voices of the past, voices of doubt, or the opinions of others louder than their own inner wisdom. The moment you make a habit of speaking powerfully to yourself, especially in the morning, everything begins to shift. You no longer wait to feel inspired. You become your own inspiration. You no longer hope to have a good day. You choose to create one. Shift from passive hope to active command is where transformation begins. Your mind responds to repetition. It believes what it hears often, especially when it comes from you. So when you speak words of responsibility, inner power, and determination each morning, your brain starts to organize your thoughts and decisions to align with those words. You're not just speaking, you're building a foundation. One strong enough to support the weight of your goals, the challenges of your journey, and the doubts that may try to rise later in the day. This process is not about pretending everything is perfect. It's not about fake positivity. It's about alignment. It's about choosing to start the day rooted in your values instead of your emotions. Emotions can change every hour. But your values, like discipline, courage, and integrity, remain steady. When you start your day by speaking from that place, you remind yourself who you are and who you are becoming. You return to center. You begin with power, not passiveness. This habit also creates emotional resilience. The more often you begin your day with strength, the easier it becomes to navigate stress. You're less reactive, more focused. You don't crumble at the first sign of discomfort. You meet resistance with calm. You handle pressure with clarity. And all of that starts with how you speak to yourself in the quiet before the storm. So treat your mornings with respect. They are not something to rush through. They are sacred. Wake up, breathe deeply, look within, speak intentionally. These few minutes, if used well, can change the entire direction of your life. Because when you master your mornings, you begin to master your mindset. And when you master your mindset, you can master your reality. There is a truth often overlooked in the rush of daily life. You don't need a complete life overhaul to change your direction. You just need consistency in the right habits. And one of the most transformative habits you can build is to tell yourself the right things every single morning, especially when you don't feel like it. The power isn't just in the words, it's in the repetition of those words. The discipline of saying them day after day until they don't just sound true. They become true. That's what consistency does. It takes temporary motivation and turns it into permanent identity. When you say powerful things to yourself every morning, truths like, I am responsible, I am enough, or I rise above, you're not just giving yourself a motivational boost. You are laying down a mental blueprint. At first, it might feel like a stretch. You might not fully believe it. You might even feel resistance. The purpose of consistency is to teach your mind what to focus on and your body what to follow. It builds strength where there used to be hesitation, and that strength multiplies when it's practiced daily. Most people wait for inspiration to act. They wait for the right moment, for energy to appear, for circumstances to improve. But those who truly grow, those who rise above average, are the ones who act without needing to feel ready. Build routines that carry them through the ups and downs. They speak powerfully to themselves when things are going well and when everything seems to be falling apart. That's what builds internal stability. That's what builds resilience. Consistency doesn't mean perfection. It means commitment. It means you don't just do it when you feel good. You do it because you know it's good for you. You show up even when it's inconvenient. You speak power even when you feel weak. And in doing so, you train your mind to respond to life with strength, not excuses. Over time, this habit becomes automatic. Your morning words become your daily armor, defending you against doubt, distraction, and defeat. There's something deeply empowering about knowing that you've shown up for yourself again and again. No matter what's happening around you, you've kept one promise to start your day with intention. That builds a quiet confidence, a kind of internal fire that doesn't fade with mood or circumstance. And that fire is what separates those who merely wish for growth from those who create it. So if there's one habit to protect, one morning practice to guard like gold, it is this: speak strength to yourself every single day. Even when it's hard, especially when it's hard, because in that discipline lies the root of transformation. You become what you repeatedly do, and more importantly, what you repeatedly tell yourself. Let your words be your compass. Let your consistency be your foundation. Because with enough time and repetition, even the smallest morning truth can shape the strongest version of you. There is immense power in the words you choose to speak to yourself, especially when those words are repeated day after day. What gives those words even more power is not just their meaning. It is their F frequency, their F direction, and their S connection to your identity. You are not simply saying things to feel better in the moment. You are declaring who you are running through the park, who you are becoming, and what you are willing to stand for. Every morning when you speak intentionally to yourself, you are shaping your inner identity. And over time, identity becomes destiny. Think about this. Every time you say, I am disciplined, I rise above my excuses, or everything I need is within me, you are reinforcing a version of yourself that you are actively building. You are not waiting for outside circumstances to confirm it. You are choosing to believe it before it's visible running through the park. That's what powerful people do. They don't reflect the environment, they create it. They don't mirror the world's chaos, bring clarity to it. That clarity starts with how you speak. The frequency of your words matters. It's not what you say once that defines you. It's what you say consistently. One positive thought will not change your life, but repeated daily thoughts become beliefs, and beliefs drive actions. If you tell yourself every morning that you are resilient, even in the face of hardship, your brain begins to look for proof. It will start to align your perception and behavior with that belief. You'll begin to carry yourself differently, respond to problems with more control, and recover from setbacks faster. Not because the world changed, but because you did. Direction matters too. The things you say to yourself need to point toward the person you want to be, not the person you've been. Too many people wake up and relive their past in their thoughts. They say things like, I've always been lazy, or nothing ever works out for me. Those words are arrows pointed in the wrong direction. If you want to evolve, your words must lead you forward. They must be aligned with your vision, not your limitations. And most importantly, your words define your identity. The more you say, I am committed, I am strong, or I am growing, the more that identity takes root. And identity is what sustains you when motivation fails. When it's early, when you're tired, when nothing seems to be going your way. It's your identity that gets you out of bed, that tells you who you are and what you do regardless of how you feel. This is why morning self-talk is not a luxury, it's a necessity. You're not just setting the tone for the day, you're training yourself to become someone unshakable. Speak words with frequency. Speak with purpose. Speak with identity. Because one day, running through the park, you'll look back and realize the person you became started with the words you chose to speak every morning.